I love this exchange here between, I should say comment, from Kimberly Classic, who's running as a House candidate in Maryland 7th District, to Hotep Jesus. I think these are both great follows, by the way, on Twitter. Hotep Jesus tweets, "The hate for Trump is so real that Biden can say anything about black people and get away with it." And I saw that and I was like, yup. And I'm not going to pretend to know what, their experiences, Hotep Jesus and Kimberly both being black. Kimberly says, "I would like to nominate this as the most factual tweet of 2020. And I agree. And then someone responded saying, "Y'all keeping me sane right now. No BS." Listen, I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you believe, your gender, whatever, your orientation. Joe Biden says insanely racist things all the time and gets freebies all the time. Donald Trump comes out with a photograph where he's like, "I love, Mexican food. Look, I'm eating a taco bowl." And everyone's like, "Trump's racist. How dare he post a picture of him eating a taco bowl?" Joe Biden says insanely racist things several times, and he gets a freebie from the pundits. Now, I know, listen, the left will say the same thing about Trump. But come on, man. Trump comes out and he says, "I'm doing more for the black community than anybody else, maybe since Abraham Lincoln." And I roll my eyes and I'm like, ugh. But what is that's just him bragging about himself, having an ego. Joe Biden faces backlash for comparing diversity in African American and Latino communities. President Trump seized on the comments as a very insulting statement. Thank you, ABC News. For those that didn't see what Joe Biden said, I'm sure most of you did. He basically, Joe Biden said that he thought black people, with notable exceptions, according to Joe Biden, are not very diverse. For no reason he said this. There's no reason for him to say this. And it's not true in any capacity. It is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. And it shows you just how racist Joe Biden is. You know what, man? I see this story, right? You know what I don't remember? I don't remember any outrage at all either when Joe Biden said people don't distinguish between Chinese and other Asians. Here's a tweet from Vince Coglianis. Biden says Trump is wrong to hold China accountable for coronavirus because Americans can't distinguish between a South Korean and someone from Beijing. The patronizing view of voters aside, not sure what that has to do with the CCP or anything. I kid you not, Joe Biden literally said only a couple weeks ago that Americans can't tell the difference between Asian people. Is that you, Joe Biden? Because that's not the people I know. Now, I know there's a King of the Hill joke in there. When the dude moves in who's Laotian and they all think he's Chinese because the South Texan or whatever, Arlen, Texas people had never seen other Asians before. So they assume that he must be Chinese. I guess that's the joke. Joe Biden is so insanely wrong about all of this, but they can't accept it. So yeah, Hotep Jesus, you are right. They hate Trump so much that Joe Biden can say anything he wants about black people and get away with it. But what about everything else he said? Let me share with you some knowledge. Okay, some knowledge here about these issues. I used to work for an American Airlines company. Let me give you a lesson on diversity, Joe Biden. And I worked with a black man. It was a big team working for, it was American Eagle Airlines. And in one of the zone rooms, they have a team of, I think it's like 10 or so people. And one of the guys happened to be black. He was from Haiti. He did not have the same political opinions as people from other countries. There are people in this country who came from Nigeria. There are people in this country who came from Kenya. And there are people who were born in this country who had ancestors who were slaves. All of these people are unique individuals. They come from different cultures with different backgrounds. They wear different clothes. They have different names. Joe Biden apparently doesn't understand this concept because Joe Biden is racist. Let me tell you the same thing, Joe Biden, when it comes to people from Asia. They're all different people and they look very, very different. Maybe you've never seen an Asian person, Joe, or a person from Southeast Asia compared to East Asia. Or how about you can't I tell you what, man, they can't tell the difference between someone from South Korea and someone from Beijing. I do not believe that to be true. I don't. I think it's true that there are many people who can't. Like the joke from King of the Hill. That I understand. But you would be, I don't think you would be surprised to find this. You would be surprised if it turned out to be Joe Biden was telling you that Joe Biden was correct, to be honest. Joe Biden, former vice president, has sought to clean up comments he made comparing diversity in African American and Latino communities during an interview released Thursday. He was asked about his view towards normalizing relations with Cuba and pivoted into an explanation on his belief on the differences of opinion between the two communities. What do you mean the two communities? For no reason. He was being interviewed by I believe, by a Hispanic woman. And for some reason, he decides to just mention that the black community in America is all the same or something. And this is seen by many people as overtly racist. I personally think it is too. But this is what they want to vote for, I guess. He says, and by the way, what you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things. You go to Florida and you find very different attitudes, blah, blah, blah. Have you guys seen the video of the Nigerian woman who is yelling about why Trump is good, why America is good? There's a bunch of these videos. Have you seen the video of, I don't know, all of the black Trump supporters? Have you seen any of the prominent, of which there are many, black Trump supporters? You got Candace Owens, you got Terrence Williams, you got the Hodge twins. They're not a monolith. They're regular people, people of different opinions. Look how Kanye West calls it out. I am sick of this man. Joe Biden, this is why the far left probably is willing to vote for him, even though they don't like him for his policy, for most of his policies, is that they recognize he's racist. The far left in this country have adopted overtly racist ideologies. They prop up people who are self-professed racists. Since when did these become the people that we put up on pedestals and accept as running for president? No. I understand. You go back in time, you'll find a bunch of racists who are president, but we're supposed to be moving beyond this. The fact they want to elect a guy who his era is the pre-civil rights era, who wants to bring back these views and this mentality, to me is nuts. Donald Trump has his faults, but Donald Trump is not whatever this is. Donald Trump has, he says silly things and dumb things and he tweets stupid things. Yep. I totally think so. And for all the things I don't like about him, I look at Joe Biden with disgust, absolute disgust. He is an establishment crony, corrupt, racist, all of these things. And what is Donald Trump? He's got offensive diction. He is unprepared, ill-prepared, unprofessional, all of these things that I would criticize. There are many policies he's done in the past, mostly due to, involving foreign policy I've been very critical of when he did them. And he's improved, in my opinion. So for me, I look at Trump with someone who's, I'm like, I don't like his behavior, but, he's a president. I disagree with him on a lot of things. Then I look at Joe Biden and I see this guy who has a history of racist policies, a history of racist statements, and to this day makes more racist statements. His brain doesn't work. He falls asleep on TV. He can't speak straight, and he makes these repeated gaffes. And what? They still just say vote for him. Why? That sickens me. For so many reasons, man. I'll tell you what. At the very least, if you think Trump's a bad man and all that stuff, okay, well, at least you can have the bull run through the China shop for a little bit longer and stomp out the establishment and people like Joe Biden. But if you would prop up a person like Joe Biden, who combines the worst of his racism with the establishment crony corruption, you're going to make everything worse. At the very least, Donald Trump is the bull rampaging around the ivory tower. And when he's done, at the end of his next term, you can vote for somebody else. And these crony, corrupt establishment types, these former, elitists, they will be gone, hopefully. And then you can have your new progressive whatever. It's too bad Bernie Sanders adopted the cult ideology of this weird far left white supremacy, whatever you want to call it, intersectionalism. Because now I'm worried that we're going to end up with populist right, which I understand and somewhat disagree with, but agree with more than the white supremacist left. And that's what we're headed for with 2024. You're going to have a Trump Jr. or a Nikki Haley or something. I don't know. You're going to have a right-wing populist candidate. And I'm going to be like, I disagree with a lot of this. And then I'm going to look to my left and I'm going to see these weird, Robin DiAngelo white supremacist loonies who want to destroy things, burn it down, and are overtly racist. And that's why this Biden stuff doesn't faze them. That's why he can say it and get away with it, because these people accept it. Not all of them. Many of them just don't know. And that I think is fair. I wish they did. But this is what we get to look forward to. Right now, I want everything to go back to normal and to have the system function again. But I'll tell you what, for the past several years under Donald Trump, the economy has improved greatly, and you can't deny it. Now we're in dire straits, and we need someone who's going to make the economy work. It's not Joe Biden. He's going to do all of the worst things imaginable. So what are we left with? A guy who can say the stupidest things in the world, the most racist things in the world, back to back within 2 weeks, and they just keep giving him a pass. I take particular offense to the comment about Asians, obviously because I'm part Asian, and I get frustrated that the left treats Asians with such utter disdain. You know why? Because we break their stereotype. Now, I'll be completely honest. I'm a quarter Asian. I'm a quarter Korean, a little bit Japanese. I'm not going to pretend like I'm 100% or anything like that. But I have family members, and I get impacted by this personally. When they enact these insane policies, it hurts both sides of my family. The mixed race Asian side, as well as the white portion of my family. Everything they're doing is a detriment to my family and the future of, my kids and the people I care about. So this I take particular offense to, because as much as people called this out, the left will never acknowledge this. At the very least, you'll see some news outlets cover, the comments about the black community. The left, they're embracing racism wholeheartedly. That's why I'm staying away from them. I'll leave it there. Next segment will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all next time.